Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner, episode number 188. This is our three-year anniversary celebration as we complete the third year of Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. And to bring it all up to speed, we are going to be discussing the classic 1968 Star Trek episode, Spock's Brain. Yeah. So with me tonight, on this monumental occasion, which is a different day for us and a different time, Thursday, April 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, is the one and only, my co-host, Mr. Ross Amico. Ross.
Didn't think I could make it, did you?
I was struggling, Ross. I was really like extending that.
My phone keeps ringing. Nobody ever calls me. My phone's ringing.
It's because they know you're doing the show, Ross.
I know. Special anniversary show, no less. And highly unusual because I'm wearing a t-shirt.
I know. This is highly illogical,
Ross. I know. I never wear t-shirts. I don't want to drive the ladies crazy.
And what does it say? This is my
lucky red shirt.
Your lucky red shirt. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. This is only the second time I ever wore this, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. The last time is when you persuaded me to go to Ticonderoga.
I thought so. I thought I was kind of having a Deja Trek there. Get it? Deja Trek.
Deja Trek.
Deja Trek.
So,
hey, I want to welcome our viewers that are joining us on this special night. We really appreciate it. In fact, we were supposed to broadcast on Monday, and the whole story behind that, and then I'm going to welcome the folks that are out there, is that we actually started broadcasting this show on April 3rd of 2020. So that was like day one of broadcasting, and everything was set for that. And then of course I got sick. So anyway, I was sick over the weekend and everything. And it kind of carried into Monday, didn't go to work and everything. And I just was hacking and coughing, and I didn't want to be hacking and coughing throughout the whole show. So anyway, that is why we rescheduled. We appreciate everybody that kind of moved their schedule, ahead. So anyway, with that said, I do want to welcome Jeff Rubel, who is out there. Jeff, welcome. Great to see you out there. Jeff is joining us from out west in Utah. I also see Christian is joining us as well. He's joining us from Canada. Welcome, Christian. And hey, Mary Beth is out there. Thank you, Mary Beth. She's saying, hey, gangs. Congrats on the 3 years. We appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, Mary Beth. And Mary Beth, again, is joining us from Massachusetts. And Martin is also out there, and he is joining us from New York. Welcome, Martin.
Show.
What? Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments about Spock's Brain, and we'll delve into that as well too. And Randy Lee is also joining us. In fact, Randy Lee is joining us on YouTube as well as Mary Beth. So thanks for coming.
That reminds me.
What's that?
I didn't have time for dinner, so I'm gonna have some drinks.
Uh-oh. I see Brennan is also out there. Brennan, welcome to the show. Thanks for being out there. Don Bethman is joining us, and thanks for the congrats, Don. And Don is joining us from Delaware. So very, very cool. Ross, there's a lot of what is the word that we use on the show?
A lot of drinking.
Camaraderie is the word.
Camaraderie.
Oh my God, you didn't even have a sip yet.
No. Low blood sugar level.
Yeah, there we go. Solange.
So happy anniversary.
And happy anniversary. Thanks, Ross. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Sherry's joining us. Hi, hon. She's saying, hey, guys, happy anniversary. Congrats. Oh, no, Ross has a red shirt on. Is he going to make it through the whole show? Lots of laughs. Listening from Pipersville, PA.
It's my lucky red shirt.
Hey, and Liz is also joining us. Liz is joining us from the UK. Welcome, Liz. Thanks for being out there. We appreciate it. And Liz is a trooper, too, because they are 6 hours ahead of us right now.
Yeah, I hope nobody works tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow's Friday, not Saturday.
Good Friday. Yeah,
it's Good Friday. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. We've got with the holiday and everything. So that's one other thing. Happy Passover to the folks out there that celebrate. Passover started yesterday, so I wanted to wish everyone a happy Passover, to our friends and family of friends that.
It's still the first day though. It started at sunset. So.
Oh, okay. So we're still in. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You got it in under the wire.
All right, so we're good. We are good.
Yeah.
So anyway, but as I was saying before, yeah, so this all started right before the pandemic, which is crazy. I mean,
Hmm.
it was back in when was it? March 18th, I guess was like the official day that everything started closing down.
Hmm.
And I had been wanting to do something creative, and it was kind of gnawing at me. And with that, I was thinking, what could I do? Plus, I wanted to bring people together because we were all going under isolation, and that was just like really, really tough. So the idea came for doing this, and just kind of ran with it. So
Yeah. And you resurrected my carcass. You pushed the sarcophagus over and got me out after 37 years or whatever it was with my Dr. McCoy beard.
it's a, I'm sensing shades of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Ross. I don't know if you've been watching Picard lately, but
No, I haven't. I haven't been
okay.
watching it.
No spoilers here, folks. But
Yeah.
episode 8 just dropped at midnight Pacific Daylight Time, and it's really good. So anyway, I'm very, very enthused about the show. A lot of, I will say, and we're going to be doing a lot of jumping around tonight because that's what we do best.
Yeah. So,
But there's a lot of nostalgia with with Star Trek Picard with the 3rd season. So if you enjoyed Star Trek: The Next Generation, definitely give Star Trek season 3 Picard a chance because it's hitting all the right buttons with that. So, but anyway,
this show's all about the nostalgia too. But and we're jumping ahead because really you didn't get me on here until when was it, June or something?
yes,
You had
yes.
a few months of it being unalloyed Roy before I showed up.
Well, the interesting thing is, and I'm going to come clean. It was great because on the very first, and Dave Rash, thank you,
Dave.
thanks for joining us, Dave. Much appreciated. And what happened was the idea was I wanted to do a show that talked about science fiction. And for those who've heard this story before, I apologize, but hey, you know what? We haven't been canceled yet, so every year you get to hear this story over and over again. But for those who haven't, I had done workshops up in Ticonderoga, Ticonderoga, and it's a fun event. It's a pop culture event that takes place every year. It's going to be taking place this August. It's coming up again, folks, so definitely check it out. And this is the plug for Ticonderoga. Mary Beth is out there too. It's going to Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes, and also Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes, and then and Ed Spiller, and he's playing Jack Crusher in the new Picard series. And I am also missing. Oh, and Gates, I believe Gates McFadden's going to be there too, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, I would do a workshop, and it was called "Remembering Science Fiction Television Shows of the 1960s and 70s." John Delancey, thanks, Mary Beth, appreciate it. And it was fun because it was talking about the different stuff that I love. I mean, it's that genre. So I thought, what better way to make a show out of it? And that was where the basis of the whole idea came to for doing that. And it started out really like, again, with television shows. And then as more and more time evolved, it kind of morphed. The other piece of it was I wanted to have a guest co-host come on with me, or a co-host each week, because I didn't want to be just talking in front of the camera, just hearing my voice, because that would get boring very quickly. And the other thing was I wanted it to be interactive with the viewers, the folks that are out watching, because I thought, how cool would that be? Folks could, interject and be a part of the show. And it was just, it was a fun concept, and I kind of ran with it. And one episode became 2, then became 4, and I was doing like 2 every weekend, which was insane. Shari, thank you for your patience and supporting me, because that's all I was doing. I mean, it was really, really, and you have to do the research and everything. Sometimes we do more research than we do, but having some background knowledge. I mean, this stuff we grew up with, and it's fun, love it. But then there's stuff you just always learn about, and then there's things you just don't know, and then it kind of introduces you to different authors, different folks that are involved in the process, and just a wider range of information. So anyway, from there, and Captain Phil's Planet was my first guest. and guest co-host, and we talked about the One Step Beyond episode, and it was the one with William Shatner. It was called The Promise, and in fact, he was a little hesitant as far as if he was going to like it or not, and he really did enjoy it. So that was really kind of cool. So anyway, it morphed, and as Ross said, Ross, you came in June, and you and I had not talked in almost 34 years, I think.
34 years, I guess it was. Yeah. Sorry, I exaggerated with 37. Yeah.
But it was literally 34 years. Because Ross and I were friends back in high school, because Ross's cousin Joe Metz, that's how we got to know each other and everything. And then things happen. Time, you go in different. You were going to college, and I was working
in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you were in Philadelphia and everything. And then I took a year off, and then I went to Northampton Community College. But yeah, it's just amazing how things kind of went in different directions. The last memory I have of seeing you, Ross, was at the Palmer Park Mall, and it was in 1986. Prior to us,
in my prime.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you saw me again and thought, "What the hell?" Because I look like the Unabomber. Yeah.
No, but it was and we almost actually reconnected right before the pandemic. It was like the year before, and
that's true because of Facebook, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when you were still doing your push-up challenges.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's back when I was in shape, and I was like 35 pounds lighter than I am now.
Yeah.
Dropping on the beach or dropping just anywhere, and just saying, okay, I'm going to do this. Now I'll be lucky if I can get 5 in, as opposed to like 50.
Then once you lured me back on the show, you let yourself go. You said, "Why even bother? Why try?"
Oh boy. So anyway, fast forward, and here we are. A lot of stuff in between, but yeah. So anyway,
that we're doing Spock's brain this week. I think it's hilarious because for one thing, I mean, it's truth in advertising. It's all right there on the title, folks. Spock's brain. And talking about drinking games, how many times in this episode did they say Spock's brain? I was watching this and I thought, if I had some of my old energy, I would have contacted all of you out there and said, okay, every time we say Spock's brain, everybody has to drink.
I think you did anyway.
They must say Spock's brain 30 times in that episode.
I see some of the comments coming through here. Let's see. Liz saying I guess she was responding to somebody about being away on holiday. Liz, it's good to see you out there, and thanks for always being a trooper. Martin saying One Step Beyond, the one that almost got you shut down. Yeah, funny story about that, and then we'll come back to Spock's brain. Captain Phil had put in a piece of music that was with a contemporary band, and it was only for about maybe like 60 seconds. So as I'm going through and reviewing the broadcast, it's like muted, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, what the heck happened? And I was concerned about, because in those earlier episodes, what I was doing is I was playing the music from the shows just as kind of an introductory, and I was worried and thinking, all right, well, wait a minute, that didn't get shut down. But then what was it? And it turned out it was just because he put a clip of music in. So yeah, that is kind of funny to talk about that.
Yeah, that happened to us with the theme music too, when we were doing all the science fiction television show theme music.
That was a fun episode, though. I mean, we'll talk about some of that stuff later on, but yeah, we got shut down, I think, about 3 or 4 times during the broadcast of that episode. Christian's congratulations. Thank you, Christian. Much appreciated. And I see Lou is joining us. Lou is joining us from Rhode Island. Thanks, Lou. Thanks for being out there.
Bring us a tomato pie, Lou.
Broadcasted from Lou's humble abode in Rhode Island. I mean, it's pretty cool. He's got a lot of really cool stuff there, and he's an amazing painter too. And his model collection filmmaker as well. And his Robbie the robot and also his B9 robots are pretty amazing, considering he built them, himself. Eva is joining us. Welcome, Eva. Thanks for being out there. Much appreciated. And Jeffrey will say one.
Oh.
So, and I see Sean Tabor is out there. Sean, welcome. He said 5-7 seconds on sound clip keeps you safe. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for joining, Sean. Good to see you out there, and much appreciated. Martin's saying, talking about red shirts, this episode was one of the only ones where the red shirts don't die. Yeah, and one thing, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to split this up tonight. We're going to talk about Spock's brain first and kind of go through the episode. And Ross and I wanted to do something fun. Really wanted to do something either Star Trek or Twilight Zone. And then Ross came up with the idea of doing this episode because it was the first episode of the third season. And we are completing our third season. So what better way than to talk about an episode like Spock's brain and have a lot of fun?
Yeah, it's a reach. Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is for the second half of the show, if anybody wants to come on and just be on camera, I'm going to put the StreamYard link into the chat. So all you have to do is click on it and you can come on for like a couple minutes and just say hi. And it would just be great to see anybody that wants to come on just to say hello. So I just thought that would be a kind of a fun thing to do. So we're going to do that. David, thanks for joining. Good to see you there. Mm-hmm. And okay, so yeah, let's get started, folks.
Good night, everybody.
As far as our tribute to Starlog magazine, always want to give that magazine a nod because that was our source of entertainment back in the day in regards to not having the internet. I always like to put up Starlog number 1. However, number 20, issue number 112 was kind of special. I remember when this one came out too. This was actually, ready for this, folks? Hang on to your hats. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of classic Star Trek. Isn't that crazy when you think about all the incarnations that there are, and that the fact that Star Trek The Next Generation now is literally coming up next month. It'll be the 36th year that they actually began production of the first season. So it's amazing the time that has gone by.
For me, that's still the new Star Trek. That's the one where I called up my parents and said, "You got to tape that one for me." Oh boy! Anyway. On VHS, of course.
On VHS.
It's like yesterday. Yeah.
Had you seen Spock's brain before?
Oh, absolutely. Spock's brain. Once you've seen it, you never forget it. This is like I don't care what people say about Spock's brain. If they dislike it or if they think it's stupid or whatever, you never forget Spock's brain. This is one, once you see it, it's in the bank.
Well, it looks like Martin's agreeing with you because he's saying Spock's brain is mildly better than the Turnabout Intruder. It engenders affection for me anyway. It's like I find it entertaining and it's corny. It's very campy, but that's part of its charm. I find it to be a charming episode. Apparently Nimoy and Shatner both hated it too. But it's entertaining. Well, here's the thing. Now, with classic Star Trek, this episode was actually not the first episode they had produced in the third season. It was I think it was actually maybe around, and I should know this one. I didn't look this up. Well, actually, you know what? I can look it up because I've got the resources right here, folks. So I am going to cheat and I'm going to tell you what it was. It was actually the 61st episode of the series, which means that it would have been the 5th episode of the series that they did because
of the season, you mean?
Well, there's 29 episodes in the first season, there's 26 in the second, and there's 24 in the third.
Right.
There were 55 episodes if you count the cage.
Oh, you said 55. I thought you said the 5th.
Yeah.
Right.
So 55 if you count the cage being for seasons 1 and 2. So this would have been the 6th episode that they produced. However, they decided to go with showing this, and I wish wasn't around. I was only 2 years old back then, but Spectre of the Gun was actually the very first episode of the third season that was produced. And that episode, as well as this episode, were written by Lee Cronin, which was a pseudonym for Gene L. Coon. And Gene Coon actually was a huge contributor of classic Star Trek. I mean, back in the day, I mean, he integrated a lot of the concepts of what we have for Star Trek. And the number one that immediately comes to mind is the Klingons, in which they were in the Errand of Mercy. So anyway, he was working at another studio, which was the reason why he changed his name and used a pseudonym for this episode and then the other episodes. But
I could see you manipulating the history as a 2-year-old. You'd be like Ron Howard's brother.
Clint Howard, who was actually in the Corbomite maneuver.
Yeah. It'd be you on the phone with Paramount.
But no, think about it. Now, let's journey back in our minds to 1968. And as we all know, classic Star Trek, I mean, was threatening to be canceled back then for each season. And then they would do the letter writing campaigns, which everybody was known for and everything. And in fact, I think it was at the end of the second season, I think it was during the showing of Omega Glory in its first broadcast, that they actually had announced that Star Trek was going to be returning for a third season. And they even made a comment too to stop writing all the letters. I mean, it was something that they integrated, and it was going to be back. So there were some subtle changes that were done. I mean, for one thing, the credits for the third season were titled blue instead of yellow.
Right.
So that there was that. If we're just kind of looking at a few things, the ship, in regards to the credits, even with the singing, and I think her name was Norma Jean, and I can't remember what her last name was. I believe she was the singer. They revamped the credits, not only with the title cards, but also with the opening. That was changed a bit. Also, we were privy to kind of cool effects in this episode, and we'll go into that when we start to delve in. One other difference too is Scotty. He actually started, his hair was like plastered back, for those who remember that. I mean, it was like, I think there was like about 6 or 7 or 8 episodes that they did that. And then he got this like buzz cut later on. And so that had been pointed out. But the other thing that was huge in regards to the changes for classic Star Trek was that Freddie Freiberger had actually joined. And a lot of folks will know Freddie Freiberger, especially for Space 1999 fans, because he went on to do the second season in 1999. So a lot of folks, including myself, kind of always favored the first 2 seasons of classic Star Trek. However, there are, in my opinion, at least a good solid 12 episodes that I really do enjoy from the third season. It's just that things were being handled a little bit differently. They only got to go on location once, and that was for the Paradise Syndrome during the third season. And that was the episode with where Marimani was in it. Just the stories took a different type of turn. And then later on, even Bob Jessman, who was, line producer, co-producer on the show, he had left. And that's when the show really started to go into a different direction, unfortunately. But anyway. So
now is this the first one where they moved it from 10 o'clock to 8:30?
Yes.
On Friday nights. So this is the one that they were going to make their big splash with. It's like, okay, everybody who couldn't stay up to see Star Trek, here it is.
Yeah. No, and it's unfortunate too, because as the story goes, Gene Roddenberry got cornered by the networks, and pretty much he said if you don't put it into the time slot that he wants, he would stay on as executive producer, but he wasn't going to be the line producer of the show. And what they did was they went with the 10 o'clock slot, and he kept his promise on that, and the show definitely suffered. I mean, his presence was definitely missed. Again, there are excellent episodes in there, but I think the overall tone of the show, at least for me personally, went in a different direction. And there are some stories that just don't hold up to the way that the others did, especially if you're comparing between the first 2 seasons.
Yeah. I think from my perspective, not as a mega fan, but as somebody who just watched these things over and over, like everybody else did, I think it doesn't bother me as much. I mean, you knew some episodes were much stronger than other episodes, but it was still a chance to see all your favorites, in new adventures. And even when they give Kirk these ridiculous foes, and then they put him in on planets modeled after different time periods in Earth's history, and he gets to be even more to overact even more than usual. I mean, it's very very enjoyable from a viewer standpoint, even if the episode is not a strong episode. Yeah, because I did go back. I said, all right, which is the worst Star Trek episode? So I went back and started watching some of them that I thought were the worst. And Spock's brain is not the worst episode.
I honestly don't think it is either. In fact, in regards to Spock's brain, and Lou commented also, and he was saying that he said Spock's brain was certainly not the worst one. The worst part of the episode was the clicking sound when Spock was walking. I know it did sound like a timer or something that was going. Dennis Chevalier is joining us. Dennis, welcome. Great to see you out there. Thanks for joining us tonight. Sean is commenting. He's saying, Laughing got Star Trek slot. I recently got some reruns of Laughins. It doesn't hold up as well at all. In fact, it bites.
Yeah, I was watching some Laughins not that long ago.
Yeah, that's right.
I have some nostalgia for that, but yeah, it doesn't really hold up.
No.
Great cast though.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, there's so much history,
other things,
nostalgia and history with Laughin. It's so true. But talking about worst episodes, and then again we'll get back to Spock's brain. I do not think Spock's brain was terrible. I mean, in fact, I think the first half of the episode really does hold up. It's just that when you get to where they go with it later on, and we'll
see, that's the part I like.
It's just like,
I love where it winds up. This episode keeps getting better and better.
It could have been so much better. My all-time favorite episode of classic Star Trek, and I know Lou knows which one this is Mark of Gideon. That is just one episode I just loathe. Awful. For any Trek fans out there. Mary Beth.
Is that your least favorite?
That's probably my least favorite. I was saying I think in fact I was just talking to Sean the other day too about this, and it doesn't hold up. I mean, we were going back and forth just because, I mean, the size of the Enterprise and everything, I mean, how vast it is. And then the fact that they have this taking place on this planet that is overpopulated and people are like killing just to have a little space where they can breathe. And what happens is they supposedly have this entire replica of the Enterprise that's made so Kirk can be disorientated and think that he never beamed off the ship. It's like, how the heck? You know what? If they had holodeck capabilities, which later, was established, you could buy into it, but it just didn't work.
As Spock would say, it wasn't logical.
It wasn't logical.
It was illogical. That's what it was. Yeah, but if you want to poke holes in it, a lot of the episodes, you could probably poke holes in the logic, but the ideas behind it and the stories were diverting.
Yes. Yes, Martin, that's exactly the episode. In fact, sadly, Sharon Acker had just passed away, and she played Adana. She just passed away in the last week or so. So I believe she was like 86 years old too. So she was lovely in the episode, but unfortunately that it just didn't hold up for me at all. That's that.
Did you see that Norman Reynolds died? The guy who you always saw his name on all the Lucas and Spielberg films. He was the production designer on Star Wars and Raiders and all the Star Wars and Indiana Jones movies while they were still good. Yeah, and Superman. Yeah, he just died. It was just in the news today. Yeah.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, so they're all going. They're all getting up there.
Yeah.
He was 89. So, yeah, good run.
It's crazy because that doesn't seem old to me, and I know it is because we're all we're getting up there. 90. I know. It's just if you had asked me that 30 years ago, I'd be like, oh my God.
80 doesn't seem that old anymore. But
no.
I mean, how much you going to get out of this body?
Yeah,
this body here.
Especially while you're wearing that red shirt.
I'll be lucky to make it through this broadcast. On my empty stomach.
It's funny, Ross. When 56 came, it was, or 56. When 50 came, it was like, ooh, Spock. It was kind of disturbing, but and I kind of got past and got over it. But now it's like 60s like looming, and it's kind of frightening.
Let's not rush things.
Yeah, anyway, back to the topic. We'll stop the digression. Sean is saying Star Trek third season audience was more or less slapped in the face with the moral of the story instead of figuring it out for themselves. For me, I'm a big empath hater. You know what's funny, Sean? The empath was an episode. It's another one that I did not like back in the day. When that episode was being run, I was like, ugh. I actually grew to like that episode though, and I have an appreciation for it. But it's not like I still don't have an appreciation for the Mark of Gideon though. That's not going to happen. But anyway. So anyway,
what about Turnabout Intruder?
Turnabout Intruder. That was sad because the series was actually ending.
Yeah, it was sad for a couple of reasons.
Well, yeah, it was.
but Kirk was pretty histrionic. Yeah.
Brennan's saying a year closer to retirement. That's the way I look at it. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. I'll be working until I die, so it doesn't
matter. And maybe beyond.
Yeah, really. Get the shovels out. Fire and brimstone, here we come. I'll probably run into Q. Oh boy. Anyway, just a little fun, folks. Just a little fun. But yeah, so here's some episode moments. So for those who are not familiar with this episode, the Enterprise comes across a ship that is ion driven, and it comes within the vicinity of the ship, and all of a sudden this beautiful woman appears on the bridge, and complete with what kind of music would you say that was? It was kind of
I was really noting that at the time, and I can't remember. It was like a contrabassoon, and then there was a vibraphone, and
it was unique for sure. Yeah,
it was really ear catching in its way if you were paying attention to it. Yeah,
and it was very inviting, and like
a bass clarinet. I don't think it was a contrabassoon. I think it was a bass clarinet and vibraphone, but nobody else cares if it was a bass clarinet or a contrabassoon.
But there's a point to that though, because it's very it was almost like very soothing and very welcoming. And Kirk is introducing himself, of course, and she's again, she's standing on the bridge. She looks very unassuming, but we're in a place where she shouldn't be, and he's introducing and everything. And then of course the security guards that he called come to the bridge, and then the doors open, and then the music shifts, and then what happens is she pretty much touches her bracelet, and then everybody on the bridge passes out, and then they show different clips of people passing out throughout the Enterprise. Interesting too, they recycled a lot of those falls in other episodes and later third season episodes, just for the record too. But,
the cast didn't want to fall over again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I remember my mom pointing that out to me years and years ago. She said she remembered Christine Chapel falling in the same exact spot that she.
So you would watch them enough times that even your mom noticed.
Yeah.
All right.
Many moons ago. Go ahead, Ross. I'm sorry.
No, I just it's interesting because you have that opening, and then you find out they've got this matriarchal subterranean society. And how many times is I know they did in the animated series. They had the Lorelei. What was it? Lorelei Signal. What was the name of it?
Very good. Yeah.
Where it was the women. So this was like it's not the first time that they've recycled anything, but I think they were big on that kind of stuff. And the men were the morgues and the iMorgues is what they were. Yeah. So all the guys were cavemen. running around on the surface of the Arctic planet, which was basically the old styrofoam that they sprayed a little Christmas snow on stuff, and then they were underneath in the technologically advanced, the realm of the Krell, from Forbidden Planet, right down to putting on the helmet for the knowledge. I thought when McCoy put on the what they call it, the teacher,
The teacher,
with the old knowledge.
the old knowledge.
Yeah, he was going to release the Krell, the monster from the id, the monsters from the id.
Is that what you were waiting for, Ross?
I was waiting for that, but they didn't have the budget. Yeah,
we didn't even get to the surgery yet. Ross is headed for the end credits. So so what happens is she goes on the bridge after everybody's passed out. She's going over and she's examining everybody, and then she comes to Spock and she puts her hand on his head, and then they do this close up, and then it just freezes, and then it goes to that's the teaser. And hey, Deborah's joining us. Welcome. Thanks, Deborah, for being out there. You. Thanks for the congrats. We appreciate it. Deborah's joining us from Phillipsburg, from Peaburg. Peaburg, New Jersey. Phillipsburg, New Jersey. So with that, when it comes back, they're trying to assess all the damage and find out what's happened and everything. And Kirk looks for Spock, and then McCoy immediately tells Kirk that, to get down to sickbay, and Scotty goes with them. And then we see this image of
Jim, get down here. He's got no brain.
Well, yeah, and poor McCoy is trying to, because Kirk is saying, did you, what's wrong? He goes, you got him on complete life support, and he goes, is he dead? And he goes, he's worse than dead. And he goes, come on, Bones, what's the mystery? And then he goes, his brain is gone. And then Kirk is like, and then he goes, it's been surgically removed. And he goes, it's a miracle. So then that's when they put two and two together. Kirk puts two and two together with Scotty, that it was the girl that was on the bridge, because McCoy wasn't on the bridge, and that she took it. So this sets everything up that Kirk is for Spock's brain.
Yeah. And they arbitrarily decide they have 24 hours to find Spock's brain.
Yeah.
At first he says, I don't know anything about it. But if we don't get it back in 24 hours, he dies.
Yeah. And the worst part of that is that literally, I mean, when we're on the bridge, now flipping up to the bridge, the optical effects this is back screen projection, and it was done beautifully. And the last time we saw this was in the Doomsday Machine, which coincidentally was directed by Mark Daniels, who had directed a number of classic Star Trek episodes. I mean, he was one of the recurring directors. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of that, because we really do not have the opportunity to see shots like this of the bridge very often. I mean, they literally have, the full bridge in effect. And especially that middle shot of Kirk Shatner in, where they're photographing the starfield. And again, this is 1968, not 2023. I mean, if you do it now, it's a piece of cake, but it really, really was a cool effect. Francois, who is a friend from the Star Trek set tour, he actually was commenting about this, because if you look at the first and the third photo, you can see that the helm station is kind of off-centered, but it's in the way that they have it set up. But they purposely did that in order to capture everything. But it's not in alignment. But still, it was just a really cool effect. Were you impressed by that effect as much as I was, Ross?
I was impressed. I'm always impressed with the effects on Star Trek. That's why I don't watch the remastered ones.
No, well, seriously though, I mean, I think it really holds up well. I mean, and to see the bridge like that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what they're doing is they are on a search to try to find it, and they're following the ion trail of this advanced ship, because this ship is more advanced, really, than the Enterprise. And at one point, they lose the trail, and they know that it went into a specific system. And then again, this is a really cool shot of this being shown. And what happens is there's 3 planets, and one of them is more technologically advanced than the others. However, there's no way that they would have the technology that
to take Spock's brain.
To take Spock's brain. They even say that there's like a calendar equivalent. And then there's another planet that has no life. And then there's another planet that has life that's kind of developing, and it's in a glaciated type of atmosphere. However, they are picking up intermittent signals from that planet. Makes no sense that that's where the ship would be going, but there are these signals that are taking place, and what they do is they decide that that's where they're gonna go. And while all this is going on, Kirk keeps looking up like at this clock, which I don't know where the clock would be, but he keeps, he'll say like 8 minutes and 35 seconds, or rather 8 hours and 35 minutes, and then it's kind of like the big countdown.
Yeah.
And
well, he's always great with the intuition.
Yeah,
he always makes the right. He's got to do it from the gut. It's like, if you choose wrongs, Spock will die. Yeah, that's it. And then it's a commercial.
Yeah, it's the hanger. Christian is saying, or the hook. Excuse me, the hook.
Yeah.
Christian saying, I wonder if they were influenced by some Hammer Frankenstein, then like Revenge of the Frankenstein, and Frankenstein created woman. We know they hired Susan Denberg previously. Yeah, now Susan Denberg was one of the 3 women that was in Mudd's Women.
Oh, really? So they hired her for this one also?
No, she wasn't in this
one. She
was in Mudd's Women back in the first season.
Okay, so that was your Frankenstein crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did that all the time in Hammer movies. He chose wisely.
Shades of Indiana Jones.
Right. Little Julian Glover for you.
Yeah, there you go. So what happens is they get to a glaciated planet, and they're picking up life forms. Now, this show, I have to say, this episode is a geekers episode for sure. I mean, personally, I love it because not only do you get to see some cool effects, but I mean, you've got everything in this episode. You got the cool effects, you got the revamped titles, you got the Star Trek babes, and also you got the action fight scene with the rocks being thrown. Also, you've got a super cool close-up shot of a phaser Type 2 being held by Kirk. Although I don't think that's William Shatner's hand, to be honest with you. But how cool is that? I mean, one of the things in classic Star Trek that there is not a lot of, and it's because Gene Roddenberry really felt that if you're doing a police movie or if you're doing a police drama or something along the lines, you're not going to go out of your way to photograph the gun, up close. You're not going to be doing things like that. These are things that these props are materials that everybody uses on an everyday type of situation. So you're not going to give special attention. However, on occasion, if you look at the 79 episodes, you are privy to some close-up shots here and there of the cool phasers, the cool communicators, and also the tricorders. This is one of the episodes, folks. It is very cool. I mean, right there. Pretty neat.
And you can tell it's freezing on that planet.
Now, that's another point, Ross. Good point.
With the heated suits, the heated
suits. And you know what? I had never caught that. And
really? All the times you watched it, you never caught it?
Yes, I never caught that. And I was specifically keeping just to watch for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like a double. I don't know. What do you call it when it's not a double take if you're I guess it is a double take because it's but yeah, it's like, wait, what a minute. Wait, what is this with the heated suits? 72 degrees? What? Did I hear that correctly?
I know. I thought that was really, really cool. Yeah. Liz is saying one of my favorite and often used quotes. Yeah. He chose one. And then but Sherry's coming back after my comments in the shower scene.
Yeah, I think this episode could have used the shower scene. But definitely not when they were on the surface. What's it with the eye morgues, maybe? Not with the morgues.
Yeah, there you go.
Group shower. Yeah. What?
But anyway, so what happens is you get to see a phaser in use, and they stun one of the cavemans, the eye morgues, right?
Yeah.
And
the giant eye morgues.
The giant eye morgue.
Yeah.
Of course, now they speak English. Now, what Star Trek did later on, though, is, I mean, with the universal translator, that was explained, pretty much was explained back in Metamorphosis, only it was something that Kirk would hold. So anyway, the fact that they speak English and they understand, although the eye morgue does say, your words, they mean nothing. And Kirk is trying to communicate. We have to look past it because if we ripped into that, like we would be ripping into every science fiction television show known conceivable to mankind. or humankind, I should say, to be fair, and also every movie known to humankind. So we're going to push that aside. We'll look the other way for that. But anyway, the Imorg doesn't quite get it. He seems a little bit slower. The one thing he goes out of his way to say is, you do not want to find the others, the givers of pain and delight.
Yeah, that's the other side of the Star Trek. The empowered, the matriarchy is that on the other side, it's always very sexist. Underneath it all,
yeah,
because you have the superior. They're the superior, of this race or what have you, but they can't manage their own little society underneath. They have to use the teacher and everything, and
right.
Yeah, but, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. But again, folks, this is 1968, so you gotta.
I know. It's easy to judge when you're 50, 60 years on, but for instance, like Turnabout Intruder. I mean, we're jumping around, of course.
Yeah.
But the fact that they won't let I can't even remember her name anymore, but they don't let women,
Dr. Janice Lester.
Yeah, they don't let her pilot a starship because she's a woman or what have you. It's like, what? This is the 23rd century. They couldn't. I can understand. Okay, it's 50, 60 years of the past, but you can't envision in the 23rd century.
I know, right? How close-minded is that?
Yeah.
And that's where things, social issues that were taking place. It's kind of a double-edged sword, but that's where bringing certain things to the surface was really well done with classic Star Trek. I mean, it was sad that it was being stomped on, but it was something that was brought. It was mentioned, but it was mentioned in the wrong context, because it really was almost saying this is the way it is. And to your point, I mean, that far in the future, it shouldn't have been that way. But
yeah, I mean, it's a very progressive show for its time.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just like when we would envision something, we're going to make mistakes too,
Right.
And people are going to look back in 60 years and say, what knuckleheads.
Yeah, well.
I'm already saying it. Yeah.
Dennis Chevalier said, I'm all in for the delight part, but just not so much the pain
thing. To each his own.
Yeah. Sean is saying Roddenberry had a similar line applied to the STEM device in Genesis 2. I did not see that, Sean. I have to go back and check that out. And that's, I think, coming up on its 50th year anniversary right now, too, if I'm not mistaken. We'll actually have to cover that, Ross, because the Quester tapes, Genesis 2, Genesis 2 was with Mike Farrell and Robert Foxworth. We were just talking about this. The Genesis 2, I'm forgetting who was in that. It's starting to slip. But anyway, getting back to Spock's brain as we go off on a tangent.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember myself. I've never seen it, but I read about it.
Yeah. I know, like I said, Mike Farrell was in the other one. So Kirk wants to find them because he wants to find out who took Spock's brain. That's essentially what's going on.
Drink.
Yes. Thanks, Sean. Alex Cord. I couldn't think of him. Was in Genesis 2. And then William. Hey, William. Thanks for joining. He said, "Don't forget Spectre, which had potential." Yes, that's another one. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for being on the show tonight. So they decide that they're going to try to find. Oh, and Brennan's commenting too. Strange New World. Yep, with John Saxon and yes, absolutely. Brain and Brain. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't heard that sooner.
Well, Martin made a play on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, Chekhov picks up on his tricorder that there's a whole area of food and also materials. So they find this cave. Of course, they find a cave. And then in the cave, they have everything that's in there that the Imorgs would want. However, there's like a beacon that's along the wall.
Yeah,
so
like an electric eye. Yeah.
An electric eye, exactly. So if they trip it, it's going to be probably a trap.
They're Imorgs.
So they decide to leave. And this didn't make any sense. Kirk's got a security team with him, but he leaves the security team with Chekhov.
Well, they've got to get warm around that rock. Chekhov heats up the rock.
So that was another cool effect. We hadn't seen anything like that since whatchamacallit, a private little war where McCoy heated the rocks to give to help Kirk, who had been bitten by the Magatu. So anyway, they trip the electric eye, and then the show, or excuse me, then the elevator goes down, and what does McCoy say? Tell Chekhov to send my stomach down. So then they get closer and closer to the source, and then when the doors open, what happens? Oh, and the other thing I forgot, and I got to go back. Right before they go down there, Kirk asks Uhura to send down Dr. McCoy and to bring down Spock. So what happens is, and how could I forget this? We're talking about Spock's brain. They beam down, and then we see Spock just like this, just standing there, and then he turns because McCoy's using this device to control him. Incidentally, that device that he's using was leftover. It was cannibalized. It was the original communicator from the cage. So if you take a good look at it, you can see how it's in alignment. So another cool geeky moment there, folks.
Remote control Spock.
Yeah. So anyway, so he says, bring him. And then as Lou was saying, when Spock moves, then you hear that clicking. And Martin saying it's a trap. And hey, Leslie, thanks for joining, and thanks for the anniversary wishes. We appreciate it. And Martin is saying we also did get to see the phaser heating up rocks and enemy within. Absolutely. It's Sulu. So they bring Spock in, and they descend. They get down to the bottom, and then that's where the elevator doors open, and we see the woman who Kirk almost thought was the woman that was on the Enterprise, but it wasn't. And he stuns her. In fact, she's going for her bracelet to probably do what she did, what she did on the Enterprise. And McCoy revives her, but her intellect is not there. She doesn't know. She goes, "You're not I Morg," and she goes, "You're not Morg. Who are you?" And then Kirk is just like, what the heck's going on with this woman? So yeah, that's gone. Then they start going down the corridor, and then there's the priestess, and she comes around, and then Kirk immediately goes to her and is like, yelling at her and saying, well, "What have you done with Spock's brain?" And then what she does is she immobilizes them.
I know he knew when he got off the elevator to shoot right away. Here he tries to talk to her. It's like, what?
Yeah,
you knew that wasn't going to end well. You knew you were headed for the belt of pain, whatever it was.
So when they wake up, they find themselves with the women, and then the guards are morgues that have these belts on.
Yeah.
And Kirk is just trying to find out what's going on, and she pretty much assesses that they're strangers and that they they don't belong there, and she's going to release them. And then through the conversation, finds out that Spock's brain is controlling everything, because when he's saying that he's looking for a brain and she has no idea, she puts it together that a brain is a controller, and then she thinks that they're there to take the controller, and then of course they inflict pain on them, pain and delight, right? And
did you notice that one of the morgue guards was Sid Haig?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and the priestess is Marge Ducey.
Yeah, she did a lot of episodic television. Later on, she she was in a lot of soaps.
Yep.
That was kind of her métier, her forte.
Mm-hmm.
She was also MacArthur with Gregory Peck. She played his wife.
Oh, I did not know that. Really?
Role in that, yeah.
That was in the mid-70s, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they tried to capture that patent lightning in a bottle.
Right.
The second time. Didn't really. It's still an enjoyable movie. You have that great Jerry Goldsmith score. But it's not Patton. And she was also in a film I just found out about for the first time today. I'd never heard of it. It was called Chronicle of Corpses. Did you hear about this movie? It was out in 2000. And apparently it made a big splash. It was kind of like a low budget gothic movie like Carnival of Souls or Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
But New York Times and Village Voice both named it one of the 10 best of the year. Oh, and the negative apparently is stored at the Metropolitan Museum or the Museum of Modern Art rather. So I mean, it's got, it's got it's a cult classic. It's got that kind of nobody's seen it, but it's supposed to be an effective movie. So I've got to look that up. Has anybody seen it?
Yeah, let us know if you've seen it and your thoughts on it.
Chronicle of Corpses.
I've never actually heard of it. Now, Carnival of Souls, wasn't Sid Haig in that?
Was Sid Haig in it? I don't remember Sid Haig being in it. Yeah, no.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
He was in everything else, though. I mean, he was in a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think Sid Haig was in Carnival of Souls.
Okay. I'm thinking. I'm thinking a House of it. Was he in the House of 1,000 Corpses?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's
it's one of the Rob Zombie movies.
Yes. He sadly has passed away. He had done Chiller Theater. He'd been there, and very, very friendly, very nice with the guests and everything. Sadly, Marge Ducey passed away just a few years ago. I think she died maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. But I remember her in a Hawaii Five-0 episode. McGarrett is actually, and it was in the first season. It was 1968, and he goes after her because I think she's involved with her character is involved with like a mobster, but then she wants, she's asking for to be protected. And what he does is he goes to Singapore and tries to find her. And there's a lot of corruption going on and everything. And he rescues her, and they almost have like a relationship. But it was a decent episode. I love the earlier Hawaii Five-0 episodes. Probably like the first 5 or 6 seasons. And I don't think Verinja is out there tonight, but yeah, and she's a huge Hawaii Five-0 fan. And really, 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 I very much appreciated those earlier ones.
I wonder if we sing the theme song, if they'll take us off YouTube.
I love that theme song. That is like in the top 10 of all time favorites. Sure. What was it, the Adventurers did that? Was it the
oh yeah, I'm not sure who recorded. I think so. I think it was Morton Stevens that wrote it, though.
Yes, Morgan Stevens. Yes,
Morton. Yeah. But yeah, it might have been the group that you mentioned that recorded it.
Yeah. I mean, there's been so many renditions and done along the years, but yeah. Anyway, we're digressing again.
Nobody.
Christian saying Spider Baby.
Spider Baby.
So anyway, what happens is she leaves with the other morgues to find out what they're going to do, and then they're trying to find Kirk and company are trying to find out what's going on with Spock, and then Kirk makes the comment, well, if they have a communicator, they might be able to find out. And again, folks, another really cool moment. We get a close-up of 3 classic Star Trek communicators in one shot. Does not happen every day. Yes.
And from your photo there, can you tell me what's the deal with Montgomery Scott tucking his shirt in here? Is that regulation? What's the deal with that?
It's probably because Kirk McCoy and Scotty are talking about the delightful aspects of the planet.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Scotty was going through some stuff between the swept back hair and the shirt tucked in.
Oh boy. Christian saying Haig died just after 3 from Hell, the last film of the Rob Zombie trilogy. He was very ill and had a day of work. Yeah.
Okay.
And Martin is saying the Ventures did the commercial record of 5-0.
Venture. Okay.
Yes. And then Sean's confirming it's the Ventures. Very popular on Armed Forces Radio Saigon during the war. Very cool. And not 1, but 2, but 3. Yes, Dennis. It's a
Scottish thing.
Jeff. So anyway, we find out finally, and this is iconic, what Spock's brain. Well, this doesn't what Spock's brain looks like, but we know when we see this image anytime, anywhere, we know what's in that box, and it is Spock's brain. So,
which still has Spock's voice.
Yeah, because that's the
tied
other
up in his
thing.
brain. Yeah.
Kirk says to
No vocal
Scotty
cords,
before they're captured, see what you can pick up on your communicator. I don't think I ever recall in any episode Kirk asking anybody from the landing party to see what you can pick up on the communicator. And then what happens is Scotty tells him, he goes, I got something, but and I'm
It's
trying to
Spock
bring it in.
radio.
And it's Spock. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, and it has Spock's voice and everything.
Yeah. And he's fine. He's delighted. Spock is perfectly satisfied where he is. He can just stay there. This is fascinating.
So what happens is they get to the room where she's at and find out that she tries to immobilize him again with the bands of pain. Mm-hmm. But what happens is Kirk is able to get the remote control, because McCoy even says, Spock, no pain. And then he is able to, with the device, as he's fooling with the controls and everything. Oh, Leslie says she's back. Ferret emergency, Gene breached containment and wound up in the kitchen. Aw.
Breached containment. Gene. After Roddenberry?
Maybe. Deborah just said, I think this is why our parents would not allow us to watch Star Trek. Lots of laughs. And William is saying, I must say that silly as the whole thing is, Nimoy's vocal performance is excellent. Very droll. No, he did a great job. And he does not bat an eyelash even throughout this whole process either. I mean, he plays it as straight as can be. I mean, you got to Leonard Nimoy, true professional. God rest his soul. Seriously. So anyway, they figure out from Spock that she's the priestess, that the knowledge bank is the teacher, and that's how she was able to do the surgery, because she got the old knowledge, as they called it. And the old knowledge only lasts for, what is it, about 3 hours or so?
It's so simple. A child could do it.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is she puts it on, and then she explains what happened with everything, and she's more confident, more in touch with everything. And while all this is going on, she's saying that she's been given the knowledge by the teacher and to use what they brought to her. And then she pulls out a phaser. Again, folks, close up of a phaser. Look at that. How cool is that? And this is all happening in one episode. So anyway, what happens is Scotty pulls a prank, and he acts like he's going to pass out, and Kirk wraps the phaser out of him.
He tucks his shirt in. Distracts her.
So with all of that, what happens is she refuses to do the surgery. And then McCoy comes up with the idea maybe he could do it. So he gives the teacher a shot and goes through incredible pain as a result of this. And
creatures from the id.
Yeah. Sean is commenting, saying the communicator prop was part of a hairdryer with goodies added. So with that, McCoy gets the old knowledge, and like you said, he's like, a child could do this, and he starts going through the process of putting Spock's brain back. But one of the stipulations is he will not be able to do it again. If he should, he would die. And he starts to lose his knowledge sooner than later, because
it starts to wear off.
It wears off.
It's why it's so simple. A child can do it. And then he's like, oh, what am I doing? And he starts sweating like it's a submarine movie. The close up with all this sweat on his upper lip. And why couldn't one of the other guys just get under the thing?
He was, what they were doing is they were expanding upon his surgical knowledge.
Yeah.
That was the caveat. So
yeah.
So anyway, with that, they're able to,
reconnect his vocal cords.
This is where the episode just starts to kind of like go down, and
I love it. This is where it starts to get really good.
If they had kind of went in a different direction with everything once they got down below to the cave, into the subterranean catacombs and everything, I think the episode could have been salvaged. But when they started going in the direction that they were going into, and then to have it end with Kirk, during his captain's log and saying that he instructed Dr. McCoy to reconnect Spock's vocal cords so that he could help with the surgery.
Yeah.
That was a full reach. I mean, and it was really serious about it. I mean,
I loved it. It's not as bad as Turnabout Intruder, where they keep doing the captain's logs. Different voices or whatever. It's like, oh, a female Kirk is doing the captain's log now, and Kirk trapped in the woman's body is doing the captain's log. Anyway, it's a different.
So
thing.
when all is said and done, he closes, and then Spock gets up, not a hair out of place.
Yeah, right.
He thanks McCoy, and McCoy is hoping that everything is okay. He said, the fluid balances are in, everything's intact, but we don't know. And then Kirk asks him, how are you doing, Spock? And then Spock starts going off and about what happened on the planet. Yeah. How everybody was together at one point, but then there was the glaciation period, and then the men stayed on top to take care of things, and the women were protected below, but then they were separated, and this whole schism occurred. And and it ends on a joke where McCoy is like, I knew I shouldn't have done it. And then Kirk's like, you've done what? And he said, I should never have reconnected his vocal cords.
I know. You really didn't need the levity at the end. But you know what? It's kind of like you. Once you start going off, nobody can stop you either.
Thanks, Ross. I guess you just told me.
Sending some shade to the host.
There's a reason why you're wearing that red shirt.
Oh, what do you got now? What do you got? Oh, okay. And it's set for kill. But, So not only did it remind me of Forbidden Planet with the helmet, but also with the time machine with the Eloy. When they go to when he goes to Rod Taylor goes to the future in the movie there, and everybody's kind of oblivious. They don't have the old knowledge, but and I just love Kirk's solution. So what are we going to do without the teacher? And it's like, wow, you're going to evolve the way you should have. Now go up on the surface of the planet and freeze and build your own houses.
So much for the Prime Directive, non-interference, right?
Yeah. It's like go move in with the cavemen and live in cold houses. You'll be here in a few thousand years.
William said, I hadn't thought about it before, but the teacher is really similar to the Krell thought booster device.
Well, there you go. That's why I'm here.
Oh, man. And let's see what some of the other comments. Martin saying McCoy accessing the blue light special. Brennan's trying to sell you on Space 1999. Ross might like some second season 1999. Oh, boy. That'll never happen. Sean is commenting, Bob Justman takes the credit for this scene, putting the brain in McCoy needing help, etc. in his autobiography. And Linda's coming to your rescue. She's saying lots of laughs. So Ross.
Yeah, I have no idea what I said that was funny, but thank you.
And then she says, 3 years. Wow. Happy anniversary, you guys. Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. Long may it live. Thank you, Linda. Much appreciated. And
there you go. Great shirt. My lucky red shirt. Yes. I got it for Roy.
Yeah. Now Martin's saying mention the Wonder Years take on the episode. So.
Oh yeah.
Good point. And I don't have a slide for that, Martin, but definitely have to mention it. So 20 years later, ironically enough, 1988, and I actually caught this episode when it was first aired too, because Wonder Years was taking place in the 60s. And what happens is Arnold, I think he's now, I haven't seen this since then, like 35 years ago. But I think he's watching the episode, and then what happens is he has a dream, and then he's like Captain Kirk, and then I don't even remember, what was it? Winnie was the girl.
All right, Winnie, yeah.
And she's the priestess, Marge Ducey's character. and then they're supposedly being tortured with the belts, and then they're like, passing out from all the pain. Solange, Ross.
Whoa.
Drink. Here's to camaraderie, Ross.
Thank you, Roy.
Another
Cheers.
year.
That was a little foamier than the last one. We're switching to Old Speckled Hen.
Bringing out the good stuff, huh?
Just what's in the fridge. All the leftovers. All my winter leftovers. Yeah. It's all over me. Yeah.
So, hey, quick question. Dennis is saying drink. Do you have anything on Fred Steiner in regards to music?
Sure. I mean, we've done Fred Steiner in the past. It seems whenever we do a Star Trek episode, there's like an 80% chance that Fred Steiner did the music. I mean, there probably is. I mean, I didn't figure it out mathematically, but there's a high chance that Fred Steiner did the music for Star Trek because he did more than any of the other composers. You know, we all know Alexander Courage from the theme and some of the shows and Stop the Foam.
That's actually from Space 1999.
Oh, is it? I mean, it relates to what I was doing, so that's pretty fun.
Charlie Crichton, director from whatchamacallit. What did he do?
Charles Crichton. He did Space 1999. The Fish Called Wanda.
Fish Called Wanda. Yeah, he directed several episodes of 1999, and there's an episode where
he did one of the Alec Guinness comedies too. I can't remember if it was Lady
the Mobsters or the Mob at
the Lavender Hill Mob.
Lavender Hill Mob, yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so he did a Space 1999.
And there was an episode where there's it's Space Brain, and the foam, they have a machine that's pushing foam out, and the machine is so loud and nobody can hear anything, and the foam is just getting higher and higher, and he's like yelling, he's like, "Stop the foam!" And he actually falls into the foam.
just like when was it when in the Brady Bunch was it like Bobby tries to do the laundry?
Yes. Oh my God, I remember that.
Or at Freaky Friday.
Friday, yeah.
When adorable Barbara Harris tries to do the laundry.
not just Barbara Harris, but adorable Barbara Harris.
cute as a bug, Barbara Harris.
So tell me what you think about Barbara Harris, Ross. What are your honest thoughts of Barbara Harris?
Oh, Barbara Harris.
Oh
boy.
We digress.
Fred Steiner. All right. So apparently he was involved with 29 of the 79 episodes, either as a composer or conductor of the original series. He worked on the movie, also the first of the movies with Jerry Goldsmith. He and Alexander Courage went and helped orchestrate and score some of the little incidental passages in some of the lesser connective scenes in the movie. So he's very closely connected with Star Trek and Star Trek lore. But he also worked in other movies. He was involved with The Color Purple with Quincy Jones. He's part of their crew, and was nominated for an Academy Award for it. And he did some work on Return of the Jedi too. I can't remember if he was the one that actually, he orchestrated. I think he may have written one or two cues of Return of the Jedi because they were up against the time crunch on that. And I can't remember if it's when they took off Vader's helmet or not that he did. He did that.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure, but I know he worked on something toward the end of the movie. He also worked as an orchestrator on not Man with the Golden Gun, but Man with the Golden Arm, the Frank Sinatra movie, in which I know we mentioned it before because Kolchak has a small part in it. He's the drug dealer. What's his name?
I know who you mean, but
Darren McGavin. Darren
McGavin, yes.
Yeah. So he worked on Man with the Golden Gun, who Elmer Bernstein actually, or Man with the Golden Arm. Elmer Bernstein actually wrote the music, but he worked as an orchestrator on that. And he also worked on Greatest Story Ever Told, which was Alfred Newman. But he's far and away best known for the Perry Mason theme. That's his best known music anyway. The Park Avenue beat. And he also wrote the theme for Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, cool.
So that's Fred Steiner. No relation, by the way, to Max Steiner, the guy who wrote the music for King Kong and Gone with the Wind and Casablanca. Totally different Steiner. I mean, if you go back far enough, I'm sure he's related to him, just like we're all related to Adam and Eve. But he's not an immediate relative.
Not that strong connection, right?
Not that strong connection. Yeah. Yeah, he did a lot of episodic television in the 60s too. He's a name that'll turn up, you'll see it on Hogan's Heroes or, you know, Hawaii Five-0 or what have you.
Well, that's why I was like really like with what was it? Oh my goodness. I'm blanking out. I'm trying to think of his name, and that's terrible. Gerald Fried.
Yeah.
Gerald Fried did a lot of episodic television in the 60s. One of the shows that he did especially a lot was Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. Yeah. He was one of the names that would recur on Gilligan's Island, along with Johnny Williams and some of the other guys. And he also worked in radio, Fred Steiner. He studied at Oberlin, but it was really, Van Cleve, the guy who did the music for Robinson Crusoe on Mars. He did a lot of radio music, and it was really Van Cleve that was kind of gave him all his life lessons on like what to do in the business. And he learned all that in radio.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Hey, Joe, thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Much appreciated.
I don't know. I think that's enough on Fred Steiner. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Oh, I do have a recording interestingly, I do have a recording of King Kong, Max Steiner's score, conducted by Fred Steiner. So I always thought, because I got it years and years and years ago. So I always thought that Fred Steiner was related to Max Steiner, but apparently he's not.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I've got the GERS. So, folks, what I'm going to do is I just posted into the chat section. I put in the link in case anybody wants to come on and just say hi. You are welcome to do that. So all you have to do is just click on the StreamYard link. You can come on for a couple minutes and we'll just say hi. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. That'll be a phaser that Ross has dodged.
Nah.
On his shirt.
Yeah. I'm anesthetized now. I'm on my second beer. I'm toothless.
You're toothless. So Martin is saying, so next year will be Roy and Ross, the next generation.
There you go. Yeah. Well, we still have our second anniversary program coming up in a couple of months.
Yeah, that'll be
to mark my joining the show.
Yeah. Got to milk it for everything it's got, right? Milk it for everything.
Because actually, we'll be going into our fourth year. This concludes the third year, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's 3 full years is what we're celebrating.
It's kind of weird because when you and I always think of this in like in terms of like Star Trek. Mary Beth saying, "You guys chat. I'm watching from bed." Thanks.
We'll keep chatting.
We'll keep chatting, Mary Beth.
We'll be out in no time.
Martin saying we're Highlander too. No, what was I saying? In regards to so like Star Trek went for 3 years, like 3 seasons, but the first year was what 66 to 67, and then 67 to 68, and 68 to 69. So it's kind of weird because this is where there's almost like an overlap. But yeah, we just completed our 3rd year. So
yeah.
The link's in the comments section, Sean. Here, I'll send it again. There you go.
Yeah, you guys don't know how comfortable I am with you to put on a T-shirt and go on this damn thing.
Yeah, you're usually Mr. Formal.
Mr. Formal because I wear sleeves. Mr. Hoi Polloi here in his sleeves.
Well, it's funny. I saw that photo that you posted, Ross, with the from when we were in Ticonderoga when we were both in line.
Right.
We were advertising on your Facebook page. That was a hot summer day.
Yeah, at the Trek set tour.
Yeah,
up in Ticonderoga.
Definitely got to give it a plug, guys. If you have never been there and we're talking Trek, you definitely want to check it out. Ross is sweating just thinking about it because it was such a hot day.
I had a hair in my eye, but I have no idea where it came from because I have no hair. It's like, what? What's going on here?
It was just like sweat.
Oh, that particular day? Oh, yeah, we were sweating up. Yeah.
It's either incredibly warm up there or it's incredibly cold. I mean, I've been up there when it's like in February and it's like, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
Really chilly.
If nobody comes on, I'm going to start telling Ticonderoga stories, and Roy's going to disconnect me. Yeah.
Sean is saying, must be me, but I'm not seeing it. I wonder why it's not in the chat section. Posted it. Go to Ties. It's worth the drive up there. Yeah, definitely, Martin. Definitely.
Just make sure you get decent accommodations.
Yeah.
But I can't say anything more because Roy won't get his discount or whatever.
My discount. Listen to you.
You'll be blacklisted from where we stayed. Yeah.
Oh, Sherry's saying she's not seeing the link. I don't know how to get on the link. Not seeing it. Just want to say one of my favorite episodes was Soil and Green.
Yeah, the special guest host, Sherry. Yeah.
Yes, Sherry was our special guest host.
Tell Ty story. You don't want to hear my Ty story. You're just going to get really angry and wake up. You're going to get out of bed.
Stonehouse and Ty all the way. Ross didn't stay at the. Well, I'm not going to say. Ross was.
I was in the morgue.
He wasn't in the main building.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
I love the Stonehouse too. It's just that I've never stayed in that other. Building.
I never had an experience like it in my life.
Anyway, let me see. If
there was no sleep during that weekend.
Oh, wait a minute here. There's the link, folks. I just shared it.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, can they click on that?
They should be able to click on it in the comments.
Or do they have to like?
Oh, you know what? It's saying some okay, I see why. It's saying some destinations won't get comments. Okay, hold on, folks.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah, you know how I do. Sometimes I do like my special artwork, and I have you throw me the controls so I can put it up here. I don't know if we can do that with Streamyard, so I didn't even. I started to do it, and I figured, yeah. What's that?
I figured out how I'm going to do this. Now, just give me a second, because what's going to happen is we're going to get feedback. Right. Let me just do this here. All right, there's the link for the folks. You should be able to say it now. The link is on Facebook. Maybe that was the problem, because I'm not in the YouTube. Hold on one second. I'm going to jump on YouTube and see if I can do this. The only time I've actually been on YouTube for this has been with hold on one second.
The only time you've been on YouTube. I don't want to distract you.
No, we're fine.
Focus.
Okay, hang on. Hold on. All right. Okay, I muted it. Now let me see if I can put it in the comments section. There you go.
Who's coming?
I put it into the.
Oh, I see. So you're giving people some time to get on here.
Yeah.
So the director of this thing, Mark Daniels, did you notice? He was the guy who directed the first 38 episodes of I Love Lucy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Eva, thanks for joining us tonight. Much appreciated.
Bye,
and
Eva.
Take care. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
And Ryan's out there. Rye's out there. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Rye. Enough said. Send the hearts.
Support, Rye. Thanks.
Thank you, Rye.
My son, Rye. Yeah. Rye's got a big birthday coming up this year. He's going to be 30. My God, he's going to be 30 in September. That's crazy.
I'm never going to the gym again, Leslie. Every time I go to the gym, I wind up in physical therapy.
Oh, boy.
I'm never going again.
She's saying happy anniversary again in Orca. She wants to do Orca.
I'm always in great health until I go to the gym.
Hey, Christian made it. There's Christian. Hey, Christian.
Hey, Christian, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. And you? How are you?
Good.
Doing well. Good to see you.
Yeah, same here.
Good to see you. How you been?
Let me caution.
Well, it's I have nothing special to say except congratulations to both of you, and it's been fun, and it's still fun.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. We try to keep it lively. We try to keep it fun, and yeah, it's been it's crazy how much time has gone by, and it's crazy
Always,
to think that
as
the
always.
pandemic was was at the start of all this too. So I mean, I don't know. I conceptually I have a problem wrapping my head around it because those years, at least almost like the first two, it just kind of felt surreal because we were all so limited on what we could do and everything. And then, everything was just happening. So I feel very lucky that we've had so many nice people like yourself and others, that joined us, and we could have fun just bantering and talking about the stuff we really like and love.
But I missed the first few months. I really hate myself for that because I missed some, especially the one with Prentice Hancock. I watched it twice since after, and I just joined when you did the second one with Nick Tate, the
Oh.
long one.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Which
That's
one
my
was
first.
that I can't help but laugh and think that maybe was had something to do with my kidney stones.
Yeah, I know the one he's talking about. That's the one where I broke to go to have dinner, and I came back to watch the rest of the webcast, and I realized that they were still on. Yeah, I couldn't play it because they were still in progress. Yeah.
Hey, there's a message from Dennis Chevalier. Dennis, thank you. And he's saying, congrats, guys. It's been awesome 3 years. Looking forward to many more. And then he put the links in there and everything. So,
My goodness.
wow. Thanks.
Man.
Thanks, Dennis. Yeah. So, no, and that's one of the good things, too, that you brought up, Christian, is that the recordings are actually there. So if you do miss something, you can go back on and you can watch it. So that's what's kind of fun, too, because it's just to kind of go back and watch some of these things. I personally don't like watching myself, so it's painful. But
you know what? I don't like that either. But you know what? When I go back and when we do them live, I'm thinking, oh, that was a real stinker. And then I'll go back and I'll watch it and I'll say, oh, it wasn't so bad. We actually had a pretty good show there.
Yeah.
It was the same with the old stars, back in the good old Hollywood time, most of them, the better one, didn't like to watch themselves, on rushes and or in the final products, final movies, And
it's funny. I never understood that. I'd be like, why wouldn't they want to watch themselves? I think that would be really cool to see it. And it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but you have to think that the big, but the big screen, it's on the big screen then, always. So it's not the same.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because what they'll do is I used to hear too. I mean, we always like to talk about Space 1999. They would go into the theater and they would watch the rushes from the day and to see, and you're pretty much watching and seeing what you did. And
even if it was for TV then.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, it really does help you to learn though, because you realize different things that you do. I mean, I've picked up on my idiosyncrasies and I try to not do them as much because some things you realize. So it's kind of cool because you have that opportunity, but it can be very, very painful. It's like, oh, but anyway, it's all good. Liz is commenting and she's saying, yes, I think I was one of the first ones I saw was the one with Nick Tate. Yeah, everybody remembers the Nick episode. It's really fun.
Okay.
Mary Borello's joining us, and she's saying, I just got home and popped on. Happy anniversary, you two. I've enjoyed many of your shows. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you so much, May. Much, much appreciated. And thank you for watching us and supporting us. It's great. Great to hear. I'm glad you enjoy the show. And Leslie is saying, hey, Ross, what's wrong with Orca?
Put Ross on the spotlight. Where did that come from? Did I diss Orca tonight?
I didn't think you did. Not tonight, anyway. Hey, Brennan is out there. Brennan, welcome.
Hey, Brennan. I think you're on mute. Or it's yeah.
It's not science fiction, so.
Oh, can you hear him now?
Shoot.
I don't know if the connection's great.
Yeah, he's freezing.
I don't know where to mute it, but all right.
Oh, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, all right.
Very good.
Oh, can you hear me? Yeah,
can.
Orca's not science fiction, so. Yeah.
Well, that never stopped us in the past.
Yeah, we kind of
That's
like
true.
We're breaking the laws of physics, as Scotty says. I've got to have 30 minutes.
It's the science of whales. Yeah, fictionalized.
Wait, I haven't
So hold on one second, Brennan. Thank you, Leslie. Take care. Hope the ferrets are okay, and we'll catch up with you soon, and we will do Orca down the road. We'll figure it out. Thanks for the anniversary wishes.
Yeah, Brennan, your connection is not that great. You're kind of we lost him. Maybe he'll come back and it'll be stronger.
Martin commented. He said he was there from episode 1.
He was there since before me. The first episode I saw was the one you did with Mary Beth. If she's still out there, the one you did with Moonraker.
We did Moonraker. Yes,
that's right. That's the one you asked me to do, and I said, "Oh, I don't know."
No, Mary Beth was a trooper with that because she went through all the notes and everything.
I know, and she made it look so easy. I said, "Oh, I could go on there. I could do this." And then I came with Star Crash, our first one. Oh,
there's Ryan. Ryan,
we expected Brennan. Hi, Ryan.
How are you?
Hey, hey Ross.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. Sorry for being a little bit late into the show.
No.
Thanks for letting me crash in.
Absolutely. My God, anytime, right?
It's incredible. This has been 3 years. It's hard to believe that. Not hard to believe that came out completely wrong. I can't believe that it's been 3 years times wise, but the adventures have been incredible.
Oh, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. You had it right the first time. It's hard to believe.
You can say that. I can't.
Oh, there's Mary Beth. Yeah. So you coming back for Father's Day? What are you guys doing?
I'll be back and I'll be ready.
Okay.
Who knows? We might even be in the same room.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
That would be cool.
All right.
We'll have to figure out what we're gonna do for that. We'll work on that.
I'd watch that.
It's always special. It's a father-son moment.
Yeah. Yeah, we discussed Logan's Run the 1 year. I think that was Ryan, that was like 3 years ago.
And didn't you do like Arc 2,
And we did Arc 2.
Yeah, get me all misty. Oh, yeah, then we did Ghostbusters together.
Yeah.
We did Ghostbusters, the TV series.
The TV series.
Yeah.
Classic times.
Yeah.
Good times.
No, it was cool. But so you're broadcasting from Texas. We are represented all over the United States and internationally tonight, folks.
And Christian, you're outside of Montreal?
Yes, on the South Shore.
The South Shore. Okay, so we're way south and way north.
It's not too far from the American border.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I've been there once. I've been to Montreal. That's where I saw.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I know. For some reason, I saw Outland up there. Of all the things to do in Montreal, I saw Outland. Yeah.
Not that.
Then Dennis said, "Big ice cream in Montreal."
Is that what he said? A big
ice storm. Big ice storm.
There's a big
Yesterday. What I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about ice cream.
Oh yeah, there was one recently.
It was yesterday.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Crazy weather.
It's over, but today it was fine. It was sunny and everything's almost back to normal. But we didn't have the problem with here where I am. But some people had electricity failures and.
Yeah. Wow. It was 80 degrees here.
But
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
we had the big one. We had the big one in 1998, and then it lasted for months. That was something else.
Oh.
In January of 1998, it was a big one, and it happened once. It never happened since. This is the second time in
25 years.
almost. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's only a 24-hour thing. It's almost nothing compared. For
You're better just like writing it out. Well, not writing it out, but just holding out on it, and just when I mean writing it out, just letting it pass and just be done with. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think that 1990. How the heck is 1998 25 years ago? That makes no sense to me. What the heck? I'm feeling old.
It makes no sense to you.
It doesn't. Ryan's just laughing at me. He's, oh my God, Dad. There he goes again.
I'm struggling because I'm feeling that way too. And if I'm feeling that way, I can only imagine how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And it only gets worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all downhill from there. Yeah, I was saying before, you got the big 3-0 coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 decades, but for now, Father Time, I'm in my 20s. I'm living it like Larry, just completely right on the edge.
Oh boy.
My 20s were yesterday. What happened?
Yeah.
Ross went through the gateway of forever.
Yeah. Now I'm on Roy's tie-dye. The world was my oyster, and now I'm on Roy's tie-dye side.
Surprise.
Oh
well, it's all good.
Enjoy it while you can.
Martin saying, ask Mary Beth about the pigeon. It's funny. I was thinking about the pigeon before about that. That's so funny.
Yeah, and Brennan, if you want to try to come back in, you can. We just had a really bad connection.
Yeah, you were cutting in and out. Shari was trying to come on before too, and I don't know if she was able to click on. She was saying about the link. All you have to do is just what do you say? I don't know how to get on this link. Not seeing it. Just want to say
We've never done this with StreamYard before, have we? It used to be Zoom.
Right. Rye, did you? And what I would do is I would send it out individually to everybody too. Rye, did you have any issues getting on though?
I signed on from the desktop, and then from there, it sent me through. When I was on my phone, it was telling me to go through Safari. So that was the main difference.
That's right. I forgot about that. With
somebody's in the waiting room. Sean.
Oh, Sean's out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm going to bring you in. Hold on one second. Oh, you know what? There's Shari. I didn't even see her there. Hold on, Sean.
There you go. Hi, Shari.
Hi. I was wondering because it said the hosts can see you, but I had to wait for the host to bring me in, and then you said you weren't seeing me.
Yeah, he does it to me too.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Howdy.
How are you? Congratulations on 3 years.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's been 3 years. I remember when you first started, I had to be really quiet because you were doing it from downstairs in the house. And I had to be really quiet, and I just sat on the couch, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't talk. And then you moved upstairs.
You had your house back.
The whole house.
It was a studio.
And you guys, you can't use the old card, man. None of you can. Because I got like a lot of years on all of you.
Oh boy. There we go.
Roy can never win when he talks about feeling old.
Yeah. Like a fine wine, Shari.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Shari.
Where are you at?
I'm in Austin, Texas, or in this case, the Hollywood Square.
I wasn't sure where you were.
The Hollywood Square. I love it.
All we need is Paul Lind.
Paul in for the win. I'm going to bring Sean in too. Hang on. Here he comes.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Sean?
Yeah, it would only let me use this avatar, so hey, a little plug for Ticonderoga there.
There we go.
Ah.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Hello.
Cheers.
Ross, nice talking with you. I think when I was on before, you were on vacation or something.
Oh, okay. All right. Was it on a Sunday?
It might have been. Roy asked me to come on with the props and stuff like that, and
Okay.
you were not available, from what I remember.
Well,
But I enjoy your guys' podcast.
well, thank you. Thanks.
Nah, we appreciate that, Sean. Thanks so much.
Well, we need more podcasts like this and get people involved and kind of keep things alive. It makes you think, and that's what I think is important about a podcast. It makes you think.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And it makes you laugh. You guys make me laugh all the time.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm not here for the sci-fi.
And I
I'm
get
here-
to see my husband. I don't get to see him that much because I'm always pet sitting.
Uh,
So I get to see you, honey, on my phone.
In living color.
well, we appreciate all the stuff you've added, Sean, over the certain episodes. You know, you brought in all the trivia about aliens, and there was another show where you were bringing in a lot of stuff.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. I had to turn all that knowledge into money. That's after I retired from the Air Force. That's why I went to Hollywood, because there was nothing else to do.
Where you, was it? What was the one? Was it the Douglas Trumbull movie? What was it?
Brainstorm.
Not Brainstorm. The other one, the previous one.
Okay.
The one with Huey,
Silent
Dewey, and Louie.
Silent running.
Silent Running. Who was talking about the submarine? They had experience with some of the stuff that they were referencing in Silent Running. It probably wasn't you, Sean. I apologize.
No, I was Air Force, but a little higher.
You were taking the high road. Yeah,
You know that.
yeah.
But a lot of those sci-fi movies, they rely on because they feel that space travel is so similar to naval that they use naval terms and so forth. Although it looks like history will go Air Force now.
Sean,
Well,
were you?
Space Command Space Force continues to be a viable thing. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting how everything is coming back. We're coming full circle now with going back to the moon and everything. It's a really interesting time with all of that.
But notice that the stuff is all based on the Apollo and Saturn program. It might be updated, but I built that Airfix kit when I was a kid, and that's pretty much what they're sending back to the space, but maybe with a working toilet this time. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool about it. And we had Jeffrey Morris on not too long ago, and he's a filmmaker as well, and he's working on the documentary for called The Eagle Has Landed, and it's going to involve components of Space 1999, and it's just talking about how, from the nostalgic standpoint of back, like you were just mentioning about the Apollo missions, and as far as traveling into space and going to the moon and everything, and how everything is kind of coming full circle with that, and now here we are. It's really an exciting time. Oh, and I think one of the cats wants to come in. Maybe
I was
Squeaker
gonna say, where's the mascot?
Yeah, I think he or she just pushed the door open, so they're hearing the voices.
They might be hearing my voice, actually.
Well, the true overlords want to take part in the program. We understand that, right?
Hey, Squeaker.
It's funny that we again talking about this Apollo and so forth. As you know, I provided stock footage, like over 300 productions. And one of the interesting things is the footage up in the National Archives of the moon landing. Yes, there's real footage, but a lot of it takes place on a soundstage. And that's what these conspiracy theorists use to say, oh, we never went to the moon. And so, very rarely do people like get the real footage. It's always this, hey, you can see the microphone and the lights in the background. Yes, you can. And I actually have that footage. And, programs like Sightings got that from me. Again, some of these other conspiracy things, they just try to mess stuff up. But who am I to turn down a paycheck, right?
Let's see.
Liz saying she wants to see the kitties.
So you go from the moon to the cats.
It's really going to be, to your point though, Sean, it's going to be really interesting to see where all this goes though. It's an exciting time with all this.
Right. The key is to get there safe. And, that is the main thing. It's great to go explore, but if you don't bring your people back, well, you've lost everything. And the thing is, there is always a certain amount of risk in any type of thing, especially a military venture. And I do look at spaces because my background is more of a military venture. I'm leery about civilian control of certain aspects of a space mission. But hey, again, I'm not on that staff and I'm not getting paid. That's just a private opinion.
Right.
But anyway, again, getting there and back, and hopefully this time they'll have, if you've ever seen the real Apollo capsule, there's not a lot of room in that thing, and they have extra people this time, so it has to be an enlarged version of whatever the Apollo original Apollo capsule was. So again, and something else that we're going to have is, in the old days, we're using, transistors and vacuum tubes to get to the moon, if you can imagine. Now we have all this electronics, and the one thing about this electronic stuff is it breaks a lot easier than a vacuum tube. Are they going to carry a bunch of spare parts? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up one day.
I've actually heard the comments that the I guess like our iPhones is more sophisticated than the computers that they actually had on the Apollo missions back in the day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Now, conspiracy theorists also don't like this, and it goes back and forth, but certainly in the Air Force, we were taught this, that they had trouble aligning the computers. I'm sure you may have heard this. They couldn't get the computers to work to get to the moon. Eventually, they went to the Bible, somebody did, and added in 2 strategic things of a day being, or half a day being lost and half a day somewhere else, and then the computers worked. Now, I've seen over the years that history change into saying that that is also just a big story. But I can tell you that in 1980, the Air Force was teaching that to its officer corps, that really happened.
Wow.
Propaganda, you'll have to figure that out for yourself.
Wow. Interesting.
And of course, like you said, the computers were a lot more simple at back in thing. But as a missile launch officer, I had the same thing happen on numerous occasions. We had such a mixture of vacuum tubes and different equipment, and every time they did an update on our missile system, something would inevitably fail. And in one case, my communications rack went out, and a young airman came in, took a look, and said, "I can't repair this thing." And he had his little transistor card, and I walked over and said, "What's the problem?" And when he showed me, it had never been repaired since it had been put in 1959, and it was nothing but vacuum tubes, and he did not know what a vacuum tube was.
Wow.
So, needless to say, we had to get all new equipment up there, and then the system never worked the same after we upgraded it to the transistor.
Right.
So, but they're falling back on old technology in a way to try to do something new, and they really should be trying to invent new. I'm not saying the basics don't work, because they can, but we do have to remember that they are using something from 50 years ago as opposed to something that they've created today.
Gotcha. No, that's really insightful. And it kind of gives merit to the comment, the old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it unless you have to, right? And it sounds like that's what happened.
I agree.
Hey, I just want to comment. See Brennan saying he's not going to attempt again, but just wanted to say I've really enjoyed the show these past 3 years. I used to catch up and play the older episodes during the pandemic and have it in the background while working from home. Memories and congratulations. Brennan, thank you so much for your kind words. We really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Thanks, Brennan. Yeah, I always enjoy your comments too.
Yeah.
Seriously. I know you're well read, and I always am interested to hear what you have to say, like if you read the book or the movie or what have you.
So
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
Just like Christian said, he found a whole lot of Lemmy Caution books. Remember we did the Godard movie? What was it, Alphaville? Yeah,
Alphaville.
yeah. So you found all the paperbacks of the author.
I found one. Maybe I got more,
one.
but
okay.
Okay, give me 1 second.
It's a very old one. It's kind of yellow.
Yellowed, yeah. Well, they were
But
pulpy.
he's still in one piece. It's from Paris.
Okay. So it was in French?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't read it yet.
You haven't read it yet.
It's been there for maybe 40 years in my unread section.
Oh, so you've had this for some time. You didn't just get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't. You had it.
All right. I have plenty of books from 40 years ago I haven't read yet. In fact, I'm always taking them out, and I'm just getting to a lot of things that I bought 40 years ago. Yeah. I'll never get through everything probably, but it's good to have. That's what a library is for, so you can go and discover things.
Exactly.
That you've got.
Some people don't understand that, but
yeah,
that's how it works.
We lost Shari before too.
Yeah.
But Sean, thanks for stopping in though. It really appreciate it. And Christian, thanks for also stopping in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
you, Ryan.
Congrats.
And
Thanks for
Rye,
having us.
no, thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah. And thanks, Sean.
Much appreciated.
Congratulations, everybody.
No, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
So-
Now for the next show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we're gonna start to wind down, and we're just gonna go to the shout outs, but we'll catch up with you guys again soon. But thanks for hopping on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Catch you later.
See you
Take
later. Bye, Christian. Bye, Sean.
Bye, Christian.
Bye.
Bye. I have no idea what we're doing next time. Yeah.
No, this was
We haven't discussed what we're doing next week.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. We'll announce it shortly. I just wanted to catch up on some of the comments, and yeah, I know we're kind of under the gun here, and it is Thursday night. Randy Lee commented. He said that the fact that we hadn't talked in 34 years comment was insightful. Yeah, Liz, I don't think our kitties are going to make it on, just so you know.
Yeah, never get rid of your books, Liz. You'll get to them eventually.
Yeah.
Or at least some of them.
This is true. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the shout outs portion of the show, and then we will come back and we'll just kind of wrap things up for tonight. And let me share the screen, and I'll do that. And here we go. Doing that right now. Almost there. Boom. And I just saw Mary Beth commenting about Sci-Fi Distilled. Oh, there's Marblehead. She's running now. Anyway, so want to give a shout out to Mike and Mary Beth show, or Mary Beth and Mike show, which is on Wednesday nights. It is Sci-Fi Distilled. They cover science fiction of the 80s, 90s, and beyond. And they are on at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. In fact, I'm going to correct that right now because every week I forget to do that. So hang on 1 second.
There we go. So we have to wait for you to correct your mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. So now we got the time right. There we go. Eastern Daylight Time, folks. And from last night's show, they said that they weren't sure what they were going to be doing for next week. Mary Beth, if you have any idea, just definitely put it up there. But I think you're going to probably be announcing it on your page probably in the next couple of days or so. So anyway, you can catch up with Mike and Mary Beth, Sci-Fi Distilled. And again, they're on 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And their next show will be on Wednesday, April 12th. And next, I want to give a shout out to Country Gate players, Country Gate is starting its new season, and it is going to be opening up on the 22nd of April. So it's only a couple weeks away. If you are in the Belvedere, New Jersey area, you can check them out. And you can visit their website, which is www.countrygate.org, or you can go to www.billscarrato.com and to look up for information. The show that they're going to be opening the season with is Sylvia, and this is a play by A.R. Garney. And the dates are, again, the 22nd, 23rd, Saturday and Sunday. The evening show on Saturdays, it's 8 p.m., and the matinee is at 2 p.m. You can also catch them on 29th and the 30th. And it will also be at 8 p.m. on Saturday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Next, Captain Phil's Planet. Captain Phil broadcasts on WUSB 90.1 FM in Stony Brook, New York. The captain's schedule is alternating Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. And he's also on Friday nights from 9 to 11:30 p.m. I don't have his updated schedule, but you can go to his Facebook page to find out information in regards to his broadcasts. And I know he's got some fun stuff coming up, but again, you'll have to check that out. I want to give a quick shout out to the ladies at Studio One Thrift, and they just launched their new website recently, and it is the owners Snow and Martha, and they showcase their lineup for all seasons and all year long. It's quality, stylish, affordable clothing that you can order online. You can also receive styling tips. For details, you can visit their website, which is www.studiothrift.net. And actually, they are going to be having on April 15th, they're going to be doing a fashion show. So again, if you go to the website, you can find out more information about it if you are local. And again, you can order from them on the website. Ross, if you can let everybody know what you've got going on in regards to upcoming information.
All right. Well, these are the two shows I've got on WWFM, the Classical Network. Picture Perfect is the movie music show, and that airs Saturday night at 6. This week, with the Easter weekend coming up, I've got selections from movies about the saints. So I've got The Song of Bernadette by Alfred Newman, Saint Joan, music by Misha Spoliansky, A Man for All Seasons, Georges Delarue was the composer, and Quo Vadis, which has Peter and Paul in it, and that's music by Miklos Roja. So that's Lives of the Saints on Picture Perfect this weekend on Saturday night at 6 o'clock on WWFM.org. The Lost Chord Sunday night, which is actually Easter Sunday, that too will be kind of tangentially Easter related. The program is called Master Builders. It's all music inspired or influenced by cathedrals. So I won't even bother to run down the composers because you probably haven't heard of them anyway. But they're going to be featured Sunday night on the Lost Chord at 10 o'clock. If you are interested in hearing them, you can hear them at WWFM.org. The local frequencies are all on there. For instance, I know, there's an Easton frequency. You can hear it in Phillipsburg, in the Poconos, you can hear it. At any rate, if you missed the programs at the time listed, they will be posted as webcasts, so you can listen to them later in the week if you'd like. And I'll tease them over the weekend on my Facebook page. I'll post more about them on Classic Ross Amico. Picture Perfect on Saturday morning, and The Lost Chord, I'll put something up on Easter so you know more about that. And happy Easter, by the way.
Thanks, Ross.
And happy Passover and happy spring.
And happy.
Everybody be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Ross, Brennan just gave you a nice compliment too.
Thank you, Brennan.
Very nice. Also, want to give a shout out to, there's a lot of events coming up, folks. I'm going to go through some of these quickly.
Thanks, Dave.
There's a, thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. There's a Space 1999 event, which is going to be taking place in Calgary, and it's coming up at the end of the month. And the dates are for that going to be April 28th until May 1st. And Nick Tate is going to be there. He's going to be the guest. Now, this is a Space 1999 Relaxicon. So It's going to be pretty low key, but it's also going to be taking place during the big convention that's going to be going on in Calgary too. It's the Expo. This is going to be separate though from that. And we're hoping that if you are interested, you'll check out the website, or actually, excuse me, not the website, the Facebook page, which is Space 1999 50th Anniversary Celebration. The information regarding the hotel information is there, and you can find out more about it. Also, I do want to announce too, and we had just mentioned this about a week ago, that Yasko Nagazumi, who was Yasko in the second series of Space 1999, will also be joining us there too. So we're hoping that you can make it. It's going to be a nice event, and there's going to be, in fact, Jeffrey Morris is going to be there, the filmmaker we were just talking about, and he's going to be doing some shooting, which is going to be part of the documentary for the movie that he's working on. And again, this will be in Calgary towards the end of the month. The other thing I want to do is give a shout out. Trek Long Island is going on next month. That's going to be in the month of May. It's the dates of May 20th and 21st. The convention itself is sold out in regards to the hotel, but there are surrounding hotels that you can check into. There's going to be a lot of guests from the original series all the way down to the latest incarnations. So you can visit the website for more information. And again, it's at Trek Long Island, www.treklongisland.com for details and in regards to costs and hotel information. So definitely check it out. And then also want to give a shout out for Wonderfest. Wonderfest is going to be taking place in June. And this is going to be another event Nick Tate will be at. This is a modelers convention that takes place in Kentucky. They do get different stars. Ironically enough, this is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Can you believe that, Ross? I mean, freaking 1983 again, 40 years ago.
So ironic.
It really is. You can't make this stuff up, Ross. You really can't. But anyway, that's going to be going on from June 10th to the 11th, and Nick is going to be a guest there. Also, Jeffrey Morris is going to be there with the film crew, and there's going to be a lot of coverage in regards to this because they're going to be having a huge Todd and Gordon do definitely put a lot into this, and they're going to be doing the displays of the Eagle model there and the different incarnations. So definitely check that out. That is going to be the 10th and the 11th of June. And also, Ross and I will be back for our 4th season premiere, which will be next Monday. It's not next Monday, folks.
No, it won't be
It's definitely not next Monday. That's not going to be happening.
No,
it's going to be next Friday.
There you go.
There we go. The magic of working on the slides.
And I always love how you're going to roll out the big season opener. And it's like, we don't know what we're doing.
We don't know.
Stay tuned for.
Stay tuned for ... That's going to be taking place. So anyway,
to promote your show. Yeah.
So that's that. We talked about. I don't have a slide for it, but it's not until August. But again, Trek Ticonderoga is going to be coming up, and I'll definitely be putting slides up for that. Also, folks, the other thing that's going on too in Long Island in August is going to be the Doctor Who convention. And I don't know if you folks have heard, but Catherine Schell, the Space 99 fans, Catherine Schell is actually going to be there too. So there's a lot of stuff coming up this year. It's a great year, and very excited about it. And most importantly, that's not the most importantly, but I'll come back to the most importantly. The second thing I wanted to mention is, before I get to that, is that we are still taking orders for the official Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner t-shirts. So I've been holding off on closing out the ordering because I've been getting people messaging me. So if you are interested and you are domestic within the continental United States, they're $35. And what my plan is, everybody that got a shirt a couple of years ago, I'm going to be posting those photos along with folks that get the more recent shirts, and we're going to put them all together. So if you have ordered them in the past, thank you for your support. If you're planning on ordering them or you've done so already, thank you for that support. And we much, much appreciate it. So just so you know. And now the most important thing is to say thank you to everyone out there, whether you watch the show live or if you watch it in our recordings. I mean, this has been this has been a really fun ride. So we're really happy about that. And Ross, my mouth has been going a mile a minute over this, so I'm going to let you talk, and I apologize.
No. I'm just amused because your thank you looks like Wawa Hoagie Fest. Jerry Garcia would be proud.
He would be.
Man,
But
I was never much for tie-dye. You would never
Yeah.
know that. You would never know that to look at me.
yeah, you just like being a red shirt.
But you're owning it. So
Yeah, I'm owning it. No, it's cool.
that's
No.
been a fun ride. I can't believe it's been 3 years. I mean, it hasn't been 3 totally for me yet. Maybe I'll be totally bored in 2 months. I can't believe it was 3 years. 3 years of my life
Yeah.
down the drain. Can you? I can't believe it's over 2 hours. I forgot we started at 7 o'clock. No wonder I'm yawning.
Don't hold back, Ross. Say it how it is.
I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm here drinking beer.
It's a liquid diet, Ross.
I know. I'm telling you.
Jack Daly, wishing everyone a great rest of the evening. Happy anniversary. Thanks, Jack. Much
Thank you,
appreciated.
Jack.
It's appreciated. And thank you too, Mary Beth. Thanks for the well.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
It's appreciated. And yeah, Jenny's joining us from Australia. Jenny, you're a trooper. Thank you so much, and thanks for the well wishes.
Thank you.
So anyway,
Good night.
what I was going to say? Yeah, I'm almost there, Ross. But anyway,
Good night.
just wanted to say thanks to everybody. Much appreciated. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll be posting about stuff what we have coming down the pike, and yeah, our 4th season premiere. So hopefully I'll be able to revamp the credits. I think it's time to do that, and we'll have some fun stuff coming too. So
I'll switch the lettering to blue.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
As we always like to say, live long and prosper,
Live long
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.